We're joining in this rally to protest the Gateway Plan. Why does Falcon think he can ride roughshod over us? He imploded TransLink to make way for a future of more cars, where sprawl is king and asphalt rules. Does he take us all for fools?
Who the hell says we want to be Canada's great gateway to the east? I don't ever remember that. Well, that's right. That's right. There are going to be a lot of happy developers around here, as there are up and down the Sea to Sky Highway right now. Who says that we want to give up what we have to make people in other parts of Canada and other parts of the world rich? If they want to do it in Bellingham or Prince Rupert or Seattle or somewhere, if that's what they want, if that's the way of life they want to leave to their kids, then let them go there. That's not what we want in our part of the country. I've been acting as a facilitator for a number of meetings held by the GBRD in the Sustainable Region series they've got going. And almost every time I ask this question of them when they're talking about transportation or environment or immigration, whatever it is, I say, where the hell does it end? Does it just go on and on and on and on until we're all cement and concrete? Then we look for somewhere else to bugger up? Don't these idiots understand that roads beget less farm acreage, more development, which begets more road, and more acreage gone, and more development, and on and on and on it goes? Some of the most sensitive environment in the world is to be sacrificed to the god mammon and the developers. And of course the developers hired politicians. But I'll tell you, there is something that has to be done. The environmental process is a sham.
It is, yeah.
It's worse than no process whatsoever. And let me ask you this question. If you have a dispute with your neighbor, would you accept his hired hand as the judge?
No.
Well, that's exactly what we have here. The government appoints the judge. Then, strangely enough, they make the decision. Then they ask the judge to hear the evidence. What we must have is an independent environmental arbitration board. Let us follow on the Eagle Ridge example and take that first bold step for a province-wide, nonpartisan organization to demand and force full consultation. No project without the approval of a full consultation process with an independent tribunal and an independent judge mandated to consider all aspects of development and, of course, environmental concerns. That fight must be taken right around the province. It must start now, and it must continue. And maybe if they do that, the grandfathers won't have to go to jail when this price is paid. Thank you for having me.
Have enthusiasm, we have evidence on our side. All of the research that's been done to date, or the vast majority that was at least could stand up to some academic muster of credibility and objectivity, shows that when you build highways, you get auto-oriented development. It's not rocket science. You get, that's the kind, so it's infuriating to move here. I've been here 4 years now, and it's common knowledge. It's basic common sense that says that the kinds of investments that we make in transportation will determine the kinds of communities communities that we will have. This region has had 30 years of very progressive planning and is known worldwide, year in, year out, as one of the top 2 livable regions in the world. And there's a reason for that, because you have a plan. But our leadership here doesn't want to follow that plan. And what made me so early to want to get out of the gate and actually fight this was a quote in the paper by Falcon that said, "We're going to build it no matter what." And I thought, that's just amazing. Basically, one of the key issues that I see is that no alternative, and this is actually, we look to the U.S. here and say, what a bunch of obese highway, fat slobs, highway-oriented people. This is not any better. The situation here is worse. We don't have any alternatives being evaluated. That would not even be tolerated. Even in the U.S., it's required. And Rafe's comment about the environmental the review process, we might as well just scrap it. It doesn't exist anyways. There's no point to it. So I feel that we have serious ethical issues at stake here, much more important than even the road building that's manifest through the process, which is so terribly broken. There's no science, very limited evidence of any sort. The concept that because you build a highway, expand the highways, that you then get air pollution and climate change benefits. There aren't going to be too many regions in the world that will say that their contribution to Kyoto is through expanding their highway system.
Delta Council have said no to Gateway. They've said no to Delta Port. Their farmland. They've said no to the destruction of Burns Bog, and I'm going to leave the rest of that up to Councillor Vicki Huntington to come up and tell you.
On behalf of Mayor Jackson and Delta Council, a member of whom, Scott Hamilton, is in the audience today, and thanks, Scott, for attending, we'd like to welcome you to embattled and beleaguered Delta. What we're facing in this region is more than a highway that's unsustainable, and it's more than a port extension that threatens to destroy an ecosystem, destroy agricultural land, destroy the very viability of agriculture in Delta, and which is threatening to destroy a community and its quality of life. What we're facing is a threat to local jurisdiction, a threat to the legal structure of government in this province, and a threat to democracy, and we have known it in British Columbia. What we face is a conjunction of government and industry, where people who think they are right, unwittingly think they are right, have destroyed the balance between the economic and the public and the environment interest, where the public interest has been lost to the industrial provincial interest, and where the very words we use, sustainability and environment, have become redefined and are instruments now of economic value. We aren't faced with the potential abuse of power and system in this province. I believe personally that we are already there. This province has unwittingly become an oligarchy. It is frightening, it's dangerous, and it's a source of deep anger to a lot of us. There has been deliberate, and we can now show it, collusion to evade the Canadian Environmental Assessment Act. They have colluded to split one of the largest projects in British Columbian history into individual components so as the Act doesn't fail to do it justice. They've created a single project of the third berth, a single project of Terminal 2. They've involved a treaty in it, the Tuason Treaty in this, where a settlement package is now guaranteed agricultural land will be used as container facility.